Guys, how you guys doing? Anyway, thought I'd make a video about casinos and counting cards and that kind of stuff. I personally don't. I just think it's just too much work for the brain, and from what I hear and see, there's people that make out pretty good, but they operate in a team. They have a lot more money that they work together with and stuff, but I've seen a lot of videos, if it's true, they don't win all the time. It doesn't guarantee them a win. Basically what it does is it tells them when it's a good time that high picture cards are going to be coming out, and they start to take advantage of that and make larger bets. But the one thing they keep forgetting about, just because big cards like pictures and tens are coming out doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be the player or they're going to be coming to your hand. They could easily be going to the dealer. So you're doubling your bet, hoping you're getting tens, and if you don't, the dealer's got a chance of making 20 more often than you, and that's where you start losing and you start making bigger bets. So to me, it doesn't really make sense. My system, not that I have a system, but the way that I play is I use part of basic strategy, is very important, and then I deviate from that depending what's going on. Some of the reasons that causes me to deviate is sometimes when you're playing at a table with a stupid player, and I think you guys know what I'm talking about. I've seen anywhere from people doubling down on a hard 12 against a casino's bus card of 6 and under. On top of that, I've seen guys go ahead and call with 16 again when there's a dealer bus card, not doubling down. So what happens is, I feel, and I'm sure other people agree with me, it changes the flow of cards. So sometimes when that happens, what I do to counter that is I don't normally split tens, but there's actually times that I would. Now, if one of those scenarios happens, I would be inclined to do so, to try to pull away some of the next cards that may be better for the dealer. Now, when I split tens, I'm not one of those greedy people hoping to get tens, though that sounds like the right strategy. As long as the dealer has a bus card, feel more comfortable to go ahead and get 5, 6, 7s, depending whatever the dealer card, whole card showing is. So if it's got a 3, I'd love to get an 8. If it's got a 4, I'd love to get a 7. You know, anything that would possibly indicate the dealer making 21 or close to it. So when I split those 10s, I'm looking for 5, 6s and stuff like that first. That's me personally. Other people, common sense, would say, hey, no, give me a 10 or an ace. But I'm trying to save the table or win altogether with the table, because if the dealer can bust, it doesn't matter what you have as long as you stay in the game. So I implement that. Again, I deviate. It's not something I always do, but that's one of my go-to moves, what's going on. You know, now here's one strategy that a lot of people call as a sucker bet, is insurance. Now normally I would agree, but there's a time and place when to take the insurance. Number one is, if you have 20 with your 2 cards and you have the option to buy insurance, depending on what your bet is, if you got a $10 bet, don't even sweat it. But people who play larger, you may have 50, 100, 200, 300. Now, you gotta have the bankroll to be able to do this, but if you have a 20, you're like 90-95% chance that you can win. But when the dealer has an opportunity to possibly make blackjack, keep in mind, has the dealer made blackjack yet? You know, what kind of streak is the dealer on? You know, so if those things come into play, you want to use that as part of your strategy to decide what you're going to do. And that's the only time I really get it. I've seen, this is the most stupidest move I see happen, is a person has blackjack and the dealer is showing the ace and giving you a chance to either A, buy insurance, or 2, take even money. It doesn't happen too often, but I see these people, in my eyes, it shows me nothing other than pure greed. They don't want to lose that half extra bet to get. If you have a chance to make even money, for sure, take it. I don't know why you wouldn't. There's sometimes I want to take it when a 10 is showing, and they don't offer you opportunity for blackjack. But that's a couple of the most dumbest moves I've seen. Now, I love to play the free bet table. Okay, when you play the free bet table, whenever you have any pairs, with the exception of 10s, they will allow you to split them on their dime. And what I mean is, whatever your original bet is, that's all you put out there. Any double down or splits will be multiplied by your original bet if you won. So you get the opportunity to reap in the benefits without investing the additional chips and money to try to win that bet. So I think that's really great. The downside of that particular table is it's called a 22 bus table for the dealer, and it's a push. So whenever the dealer makes the total amount of his bus cards 22, you will not get paid. Now, it sounds like a bummer, but keep in mind, you get all the free double downs and splits, plus they usually have a side bet called pot of gold. So every time you split or double down on the same hand, you earn a value of 1 chip per each additional transaction you're able to add. Double down is a transaction, and splitting is a transaction, and even a double down after a split equals a transaction. And you can make quite a bit of money there. Doesn't happen all the time, but just keep in mind that's part of the advantage. You can make money when your hand doesn't win, but those side bets. So really, really important. Again, you need to understand them, so you want to look into it further. And I've made quite a bit of money off those, and I enjoy it because you seem to risk less money on those free double downs and splits. But the downside, again, is if whenever the dealer makes 22, you won't get paid. So it give and take, but you'll know you're on the wrong table if you keep seeing the dealer making 22, but you want to be covering that bet. But there's periods where the dealer very rarely makes 22. I've seen it maybe 1 or 2 hands the whole shoot. So believe me when I tell you, it is well worth the advantages on that free bet table. Let's see, what else we got going on? Well, you got guys that, again, on the premonition of, counting cards and that kind of crap, is you risk getting banned from the casino, trespassed, possibly arguing to cash your chips. You can't ever get any type of comps. Costs you more because you have to, some of these guys are working, I don't want to say gang, but they work as a group, and they have multiple people. So whatever winnings they have, they even have sponsors that put up the money. So there's a lot of divvies. They have to divide that money up. So they're at a loss before they even make the first bet, because they got extensive travel, flight, hotel, rental cars, Ubers and Lyfts, because they try to hide their cars not to get traced. So, and then you lose the opportunity and get banned. And if you come back to the casino, they can arrest you. So to me, I mean, it's just not worth it. So I play, and I make sure that I don't focus too much time on the cards, because you're being watched, especially if you're winning. Because the casinos can immediately think you're counting cards. Why are you winning? They know people go on a streak wins and losses, and that's okay. Just playing $5, $5, and then going in on $200 and $400 bets and then taking 2 hands. Guys, it's freaking obvious. You have an advantage and you're counting cards. What do you expect? Those pit bosses get paid by the hour, you know? And they're seeing you come in and try to exploit a weakness. It's not going to work. It's not going to work out for you. I've heard some of these card counting people, they get pushed off after winning only $100 or $200. Their faces, they have to wear disguises, okay? They can never show a comp card or rewards card because they'll know exactly who they are. And then casinos nowadays, they work together. They say they don't, but they'll let the casino across the street, next door, or the other side of town know, hey, this guy was in, here's a picture of you. You're toast. So I just don't think it's worth it. I like the fact how I play is if the cards are going bad, you lower your bet. And if you're going on a winning streak, I like the martingale system, where you start to double up your, I think that's the one where you double up when you're winning, or is that the one where when you're losing, you double your bets? I don't like to double my bets ever when I'm losing, because you never know how many streaks of cards losses you're going to have, you know? I've seen 5 or 10 times. You keep doubling your bet to try to win your original bet. I don't think that's good advice. So whatever the system is when I'm on a winning streak, if I bet 50, I'll double it up. You know, after 2-3 times, I'll take a little something off it to start my original bet in case it goes down. Then I'll try maybe splitting cards, again, whatever the dealer's whole card are. And that system works out good for me. I mean, I get comped as up the wazoo, man, I tell you. And when I eat good. I get steak, lobster, you know, steak for breakfast. I'm not a cheap player. So I just enjoy the fact and enjoy the food more when the casinos comp me those. So I just wanted to make this video to let you know, like, there's different, everybody's got the system. You have to do your variation what works. And I think one mistake you make is when you don't understand the system and there's people at the table listening to other players, listening to the dealer, and then ultimately still making the wrong decision, which it kind of affects everybody. Now, one last thing I want to put in, I'll tell you maybe 2 things, is be careful if you're on a winning streak and all of a sudden you got a player that wants to jump in, okay? That is going to change everything. It may not, and you can continue winning, but just understand you're adding a new equation to the formula, and you'll have a guy who is betting maybe the minimum. You and maybe somebody else are betting 50, 100, or hundreds of dollars in chips, and now you got some clown that's only worried about his particular bet, and he's going to play his way. And sometimes I find that some of these people, they got a negative attitude, and they're, as stupid as it sounds, they're not trying to win. They're going in there to try to disrupt your flow. Guys, don't be snoozing on that. It's true. People standing there watching you and watching you win, and you're getting upset it's not them, and they'll go in there and slip in on a $5 table or whatnot, and that's kind of a mistake. It's just some of the casinos, they don't have higher tables available, and sometimes going cold turkey right to a higher limit table may not be to your advantage. Okay, another thing I want to add too, again, along the premise of you winning and doing good, and you got open seats, all of a sudden, what I call, and people deny that they exist, I call it sleepers or coolers. And what they are is, I feel somehow they're working together with the casino. And what they'll do is they'll come in, sit down, and start playing an odd way the whole way through to disrupt your card flow. I've even had casinos switch a dealer, so the dealer would be a new dealer. Okay, it happens. But this one particular time, after one or two hands, the same dealer who left came right back and burnt another burn card. So think about that. The first dealer switched, burns a card. Second dealer comes back and burns a card good to try to disrupt that flow. Guys, you know, these pit bosses and managers, they're there all day long. They're paid by the hour. They know exactly what they're going to make per hour, how much they're going to make for the whole day, and their job is to sit there and watch you play. Do you think they want to sit there and watch you win? Those pit bosses and managers cannot be tipped, only the dealer. That's why I highly recommend when you're winning, okay, when you're winning, key is to put a little bet out there for the dealer. It could be as small as $5. If you're a cheapskate, put $1, but put something. Give that dealer an incentive to want you to win. It pays stocks and dividends back to you. Trust me when I tell you, because whenever there's an issue, the dealer is going to call the pit boss, or the pit boss is going to ask the dealer. You want that little favorable outcome. And if you're tipping them and you're tipping the waitresses, it's a positive karma. It's a nice aura around you. If you lose, you're going to lose regardless. Never get mad that you're tipping. Should you tip when you're losing? No, but sometimes that may change. But if you're up and you're winning, don't forget these dealers. There's sessions that I had, and believe me when I tell you, you're not going to believe, I've turned out to, and I'm not a huge gambler, but I play a long amount of time. So those small tip bets and on bonuses, they add up to a lot. I've had as quick as 5 or 6 hands. The dealer made almost $900 off of me in tips. You're saying you're tipping the dealer? Well, here's the scenario. I hit and played that Trilux bet, and I hit 3 of a kind. I hit 3 threes. I had 2, and the dealer's exposed card was a 3. I put $15 for myself, so it paid 90 to 1. So I got almost, I don't know, 1,400, something around that. The dealer made $450 in a couple hands. About 2-3 hands later, I played the same bet. I bet $5 for the dealer again, but I only put $5 for myself. It hit again. I got 3 sixes. It was unbelievable. The dealer got another $450 tip. So I just sat down. I was in about 6 hands, definitely less than 10 minutes. And I was already up a couple thousand, and the dealer made $450 tip twice, total of $900. That dealer wanted to jump out and hug me. And it was one of the nicest dealers. And I get personal satisfaction because all that money that you're giving to the dealer as a tip, if you notice, where does it go? It goes in their tip box. It's away from the table. So it's not nice to think this way, but it is something positive. If you wind up losing, all that tip money, if you want to consider it, was your money that you chose to give them, and the dealer got it. So the dealer the casino never got that, because when they drop that tip money, it's gone. It's bye-bye. It's a guaranteed win for that dealer. So guys, please treat your dealers well. I know that there's some mean dealers out there and pretty disgruntled. Can't help it. Just don't play on those tables. I don't want to say not to tip them, but I'm not cool with a tip with a dealer that has an attitude, is not rooting for me, or is clearly rooting against me. That doesn't fly. That really sets me off. It ruffles my feathers. It's hard for me to continue further, and it's just better to stop or wait till the dealer switches out, and you have that. You have the good dealer, bad dealer, just like good cop, bad cop. They do exist. Just hopefully your experience is more dealing with the better dealers, okay? So those were a few tips. Again, card count is not for me. I don't try it. I never implement it. I go what's going. I think one of the number one things actually that does dictate the flow of the cards, and there's too many people that underestimate the importance of this, is you personally cutting the cards, okay? Now, if you're able to, and you're a pretty lucky person, I would cut the cards. I try to cut it all the time. I don't like to have my future in somebody else's luck. Now, the worst thing to do is let somebody that's losing cut the cards. You hear me? I'm going to repeat it again. Don't ever let somebody who's losing and playing at a shoot to cut the cards. They're bad luck for themselves, and you're gonna get splashed with their bad luck. Okay? Don't ever just let the dealer cut the cards. Again, the dealer worked for the casino. I'm not saying they're rigging it, but I'm just trying to tell you is you're allowing somebody else to control and dictate the possible flow of the cards for you. Not good. Don't do it. Don't be lazy. There's nothing to be scared of. And what I like to do is I either like to cut it way to the back, or cut it way to the front of it and mix it up a little. Just cutting it in the middle. A lot of these cards are pre-mixed, so they come out, and we don't know how that electronic machine shuffles unless the dealer hand shuffles, and that's pretty rare. You don't see that too much. But control that. And again, don't underestimate the possibility and the value of cutting that cards is. Other than that, guys, I just want to tell you is make sure you get a rewards program. Let them comp you, because you never know how long you're going to play. You want to have a drink or a meal that take care of you. I'm dealing with one particular casino, and I'm going to make a video about that. It quickly became my number one casino. I frequent it every once or twice a week on my travels, because I do drive truck cross country. And I mean, it's to the point, literally, like, I tell them I want to eat before I even play. Show them my card. They assign me a casino host, my personal casino host. Guy takes care of me, and I'm just telling you, the food comps I get, they're not single digit, they're not double digit, they're in the 3 digits for one person, myself, to eat, because I go by myself. So I'm just telling you, steak and lobster, and when I say lobster, I mean double lobster. When I say steak for breakfast, I'm talking double steak. They take care of me. Again, I'm going to make another video about that casino, and that's important too, because those are some of the perks. And we always don't win at the casino, but if you have a good time and you know they treated you right and you're enjoying yourself, I don't think nothing's wrong. Now, you guys, play safe and accordingly. No, gambling is a hot topic there. There's some people that go overboard. I mean, you could be drinking and enjoying yourself and gambling. It doesn't mix. You're going to make more wrong decisions. And I just wanted to throw it out there. I hope you guys really, really enjoyed it. Sorry for some of the background noise as I am driving truck, but I do have a hands-free device, as you can see. And I really wanted to talk about this topic. It's really of interest, and I think I'm going to make other videos more about this. And we'll just leave it at that. Listen, I hope all your champagne and caviar wishes come true, and enjoy yourself, and stay away from the people that are ruining it for you, okay? And make money, okay? God bless, be safe, and like that guy says, when the thumb goes up, it's just that easy, right? I'm out.